in the heart of Ouagadougou, where the rhythm of military parades often blended with the sound of political speeches. President Ibrahim Traoré carried a heavy burden that few around him could see. Since assuming leadership, he had relied on one man more than any other, General Moussa Bambara, his trusted military advisor. For years, Bambara had been at his side, shaping strategy, advising on promotions, and assuring the president that the army spine was unshakable. Yet, whispers began to circulate through the barracks. Some soldiers spoke of officers who had appeared out of nowhere, suddenly promoted to colonel or even general. Men with little battlefield experience but immaculate bank accounts. At first, Traoré dismissed the rumors. Every army had jealous rivals. Every promotion brought resentment. But as the same complaints reached him from multiple regions, east, west, even from his own palace guards, his doubts grew heavier. What began as suspicions soon turned into a cold truth. Traoré ordered a covert investigation into Bambara's office, expecting perhaps to uncover minor irregularities. Instead, his investigators stumbled upon a sophisticated digital empire, hidden behind layers of encrypted websites, coded invitations, and anonymous payment channels. There existed a black market bazaar unlike anything Burkina Faso had ever seen. It was an online marketplace for military ranks. The price list read like a grotesque parody of a government brochure. General, $50,000. Colonel, $30,000. Major, $20,000. Captain, $10,000. Even more shocking, the scheme had been running quietly for 7 years, funneling nearly $847 million into private accounts scattered across Dubai, Malta, and Panama. Worse still, records revealed that 30% of Burkina Faso's current military leadership had purchased their ranks through this network. Traoré sat in silence as he read the reports. He felt betrayed, not only as a leader but as a soldier. He had risen through fire, through sweat and loyalty, believing that the military was a brotherhood forged by sacrifice. Now he realized that for many, the path to command was not courage but credit card. The investigation uncovered more horrors. Entire military academies existed only on paper, phantom institutions, issuing diplomas to anyone willing to pay tuition. Some units listed on official rosters were never real, their salaries pocketed by middlemen. And most outrageous of all, Bambara's system had a customer loyalty program. Buy one promotion, and you received discounts on future upgrades. A colonel who paid on time could earn points redeemable toward a generalship. The army had been turned into a grotesque parody of a supermarket. Traoré knew that simply arresting Bambara quietly would not solve the crisis. The rot had spread too deep. If the people were to believe in the army again, the purge had to be public, undeniable, unforgettable. That was when he conceived the plan, the national promotion ceremony, an event televised across the country, would become the stage for justice. Weeks later, the capital was buzzing with excitement. Hundreds of officers gathered in full uniform, expecting medals, promotions, and handshakes. Families filled the stands, proud to see their sons and fathers rise in rank. Cameras were positioned to broadcast the ceremony live, as tradition dictated. But this time, tradition would shatter. As the ceremony began, Traoré appeared not with celebration in his eyes but with fire. His voice echoed across the courtyard. Today, we honor those who have served with courage. But today, we also unmask those who bought their honor with gold. At that signal, hidden military police units surged forward. One by one, officers who had purchased their ranks were handcuffed in front of their peers. And the entire nation. Gasps erupted from the crowd as over 300 fraudulent officers were dragged off stage. Generals, colonels, and majors who had strutted proudly moments before now stood exposed, their medals clinking like chains of shame. Bambara himself tried to flee, but Traoré had anticipated it. The cameras caught him mid-struggle, his face drained of its usual arrogance. The once revered general was paraded before the nation not as a leader, but as a criminal. The revelations poured out, the fake academies, the phantom brigades, the $847 million siphoned from the nation. The audience, once stunned, now roared in anger. Soldiers in the crowd spat on the ground in disgust. ashamed that their uniforms had been desecrated by greed. And then silence fell. Traoré stepped forward, raising his hand. His words carried the weight of a promise. This army will never again be for sale. To wear this uniform is to serve, not to buy. To lead is to bleed for your nation, not to steal from it. Tonight, we bury corruption. Tonight, the people of Burkina Faso know the truth. The broadcast rippled across Africa, in villages and cities alike. Citizens watched as their president dismantled one of the most brazen corruption networks in modern history. Some wept with pride. Others clenched their fists with renewed faith. The army, once mocked as compromised, was reborn in the fire of public reckoning. By the end of that night, 300 officers were in custody. Bambara was under heavy guard. And a new doctrine was announced. Promotions would be earned only through merit, verified by combat records, reviewed by independent tribunals. Fake academies were shuttered, phantom units erased from payrolls. But for Traoré, it was not only about the army. It was about sending a message. No institution, no matter how sacred, was beyond the reach of justice. In the weeks that followed, murals of the live sting operation appeared across Ouagadougou. Schoolchildren reenacted the ceremony in playground games. Soldiers who had once felt ashamed now marched with heads held high. And though the scars of betrayal remained, so too did the memory of the night their president turned a national celebration into the most dramatic anti-corruption strike in the nation's history. 4 years to come, when people spoke of Ibrahim Traoré, they would remember that night, not as a simple promotion ceremony, but as the night when truth wore the uniform of courage.